So we can, Henry, I'll throw
Okay.
to you. We're rolling now.
Uh, George, what you've given us in this long interview is some things to take home and think about.
Oh, good.
And we're very grateful to you for that. I just want to bring up the fact that in the mid-90s you received many awards recognizing your achievement as a comedian. You were inducted into the Comedy Hall of Fame. You were asked to host HBO's 20 Years of Comedy.
Mm-hmm.
You taped another special which won several Cable Ace Awards.
Mm-hmm.
There was an American Comedy Award. And in 1997, you published your first book, Brain Droppings, which made it to the New York Times bestsellers list. At what point in your career did you feel that you had made it and that you had achieved a level of success that you had hoped to achieve?
Well, because the whole thing took place by degrees, it's hard to point to a particular place. A 1992 HBO show called Jammin' in New York, I knew I had found my comic voice. It was a live show. There were 6,500 people in the audience at Madison Square Garden, the Paramount Theater, and it was my hometown, and it just felt like I really graduated that night. The awards are okay. The Grammys mean a lot. I've got 4 of them because the category is called spoken word, and I like that. The books really put me over the top in my own little universe. The fact that the first book did so well and the second book took a little longer to do as well, but it has grounded out. And the third one did what the first one did, when will Jesus bring the pork chops? Just the accumulation is what did. Sometime from the mid-90s to now, the overall accumulation of things has satisfied that thing in me that needed expression. And I know I did a good job.
And you did a very good job here.
Good, thank you.
To what do you attribute your longevity in the business? Because it is a business.
Yeah,
right?
sure. Well, being able to, some of the combinations of things are having HBO, the demand of doing a new show every 2.5 years forced me to go into the writer part of me and become that. The lasting a long time has to do with productivity, being prolific and being able to continue to top myself, as it were, to continue to dig deeper, to do more textured things that had some more importance in them and meaning in them for me, for some people, whoever takes it that way. And lasting a long time is a function of pleasing the audience of a wide range for me, because my audiences at the concerts, they vary from the middle teens to the 50s and 60s. Some places a little heavier to young, some places a little heavier to older. But HBO cuts across all demographic lines: age, education, geography, religion, race, income, almost every line. Just HBO just shatters that. And so I was able to appeal to a wide audience constantly, consistently. And the older brother tells the little brother, and the father tells the son, and it's passed on, the cousin tells the cousin. And those who don't know about you find out about you by someone who's really fervent about your stuff. So it's just a wonderful, natural network, organic thing happening that just, is there.
To someone starting out in the business today, what advice would you give them, or what do you wish you might have known when you were just starting out?
Well, I tell people, young or starting, not always young, but beginner comedians, I tell them, write everything down. You have to write. You have to write. Write all your ideas down and classify them. My first boss when I was 18 told me that. He said, find a folder, put your ideas on paper. Any idea you don't think you can use it now, if it seems useful, put it down on paper, and then classify it. Because good ideas don't mean anything unless you can find them again. Yeah, you can't go through a pile of papers 10 years old of notes. You have to, now you can use a computer. Before that, I had index cards and things. You have to be able to find race, religion, business, government, politics, men and women, sex, and then those categories, you break them down into categories. So organize yourself is what I tell young comedians. And of course, don't take no for an answer. If it's not working well that night, it's not you, it's the audience. Blame it on the audience. Because if it worked on Friday night, it ought to work on Saturday, and if it doesn't, it's their fault. It's oversimple, but you know what? It works as a formula. Just go on and do the Sunday night show and forget Saturday night. Keep kicking them in the nuts.
That's good advice.
How would you like to be remembered?
Well, for someone, here's the way I put that. I'm happy because I know that it's when someone writes, if they were to write, a history of comedy in America in the last third of the 20th century, they'd have to include me. I just know they can't leave me out. That's what I'd like to be remembered as, someone who made enough of a mark that they can't leave him out when they write about it. And for my epitaph on a tombstone, I would like one of two things. Either he was just here a minute ago, or too hip for the room. Too hip for the room.
That is the only line we can possibly end this interview on.
Thank you all very much
too hip for this room.
With all the thoughtful questions and the work that you put into it. I appreciate all of that.
And thank you so much for your time. And I'm glad that the word retirement means nothing to you.
No, it's Pablo Casals. I'm beginning to notice some improvement.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, we look forward to seeing you from here till the end of days.
Till the end of days. And there you jolly well are.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. My pleasure.
And I'm really looking forward